Hey, it's just so Trish. Did I get this? Hey, it's just so Trish. I am going to talk about the top 3. Just focusing on the top 3. I'm going to give some examples how to implement it. But what we're talking about is getting yourself that sense of accomplishment. Where does this even come from? All right, so listen, I'm ADHD. I'm a mom of 6. I homeschool half. I got half at the school down the road. I worked last year, and now I work from home, but I work from home on a part-time status that can run my day or not. And I remember who I was when I first came home from working, and that was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I left the corporate world and I came home. And I kind of had a loss for what to do and who I was. Hey, Barry, how are you? Who I was. I just kind of lost it. And I kind of built a routine and I found a routine, but then over time I lost the routine. And I'm going to tell you, up until why I loved going to teach last year was it got me out of my funk. And the problem is you kind of get into a funk where you have all day to do everything, so you spend all day doing nothing. And if you have ADHD, every task seems overwhelming. So today is about learning a little technique in life. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's super usable, doable. You don't have, you really just need a notepad. You really, really need a notepad. And that's it. Just some paper. But here's the thing. It has to stay together. You can't just have one piece of paper. One piece of paper does not work. I mean, maybe a Post-it note. But even that is not okay. Because you want to be able to look over your stuff. So I have just some basic paper. Like this is just a simple little line notebook. I set my routine by blocks. I morning routine. I think one special thing to do each day, right? So this is about accomplishing and feeling accomplished. So I know that I'm easily getting into that funk. And in fact, I just had this entire conversation with my mom since life changed and all these different things. And I've noticed she's not been leaving the house much. And just, you need to have external accountabilities, especially if you are ADHD. And so this is really a huge help if you're ADHD, if you stay at home, and you just kind of feel like the days blend together. And it's afternoon before you know it, and you just feel like you haven't done anything. And then it kind of makes you worse, because then you haven't done anything, nor are you doing anything, and you're just, because that happens. I mean, it happens. It happens to me. So what I want to talk about is the top 3. And I'm sure you've heard about this. What are you going to just have 3 things on your list every day? Well, we're going to go a little bit past that. Okay, we're going to go a little bit past that. And we are going to expand on those top 3. Because if you're ADHD like me, 3 is not enough. 3 is never enough. I need to have like 6 or 7 things. And then I'm not going to get them all done. And then there's kind of grand ideas. And sometimes like I just need the list. I like this. By blocking this help my distracted self so much. Oh, I got to. So much. And helped my children see a strong routine every day. Awesome. I like that. Mine is sometimes I forget what I need to be doing. Just, I'm not going to lie. I forget like, oh, I have a task. All right. So the idea is 3 things. I wish I kind of had my mom for this phone call conversation, because she gave great examples. So your 3 things have to be able to be accomplished in 15 minutes. That's the rule. They have to be 15-minute things. They cannot be 2-hour things. They cannot be 10-hour things. They cannot be long projects. It cannot be, I am going to reorganize my pantry. That could be hours. Or I am going to set up my Christmas. That's too long. That is not you're going to get done with the day and you're going to make huge achievements towards that goal. But that is a long-term goal in some ways, not a short-term goal. It has to be 15 minutes and cross out. So like, Trish, how do we do that? If I want to organize my living room, reorganize my living room and declutter it, why can't I just put that down? Well, if you're like me, that might take 2 weeks because there's not enough time to get it all done, or there's too much to do. So the rule is I have to pick one task in that goal and write that down. Write that down. So it may be, I am going to get this task. I mean, I love Dana K. White. This task could be, I'm going to collect all the garbage in the room and get all the garbage out of the room. Get any garbage out of the living room. That's my task today. I can do that in 15 minutes and that's enough. Okay. This is, some of you are like, this is ridiculous. Why are we doing this and talking about this? I want to give you an example. 15 minutes truly works. Yes, ma'am. And so one of the realities of that is you're going to write yourself 3 things you can do in 15 minutes each. And that's it. So I'm going to give you an example of what mine looks like today. No judgment, but so it's easier for me to apply. This is my day-to-day. I have to call a client. I'm just going to scribble his name out and write call a client. I don't know if he would even know or notice, and it wouldn't matter, but I'm going to call my client Jim. So I need to call my client. I need to register my kids for the next SAT, and I need to get a letterhead about diagnosis. Those are my top 3 things. So here's the trick to this, and this is what's special. I also need today to, not really need today, but what have I already done today? Because sometimes you do things and you're like, I didn't even hit my top 3, I did other stuff. And so I needed today to get all of my kids, I bought my one of my kids' teachers some books that she had requested. So I'm going to send books to teacher. Because sometimes you just kind of get stuff done that you weren't really planning to put on your list, but they got done and you're like, hey, I got that done. I literally want to take that and I'm going to put a line through it. I did something today. As crazy as this sounds, I'm going to log all the things I get done today that I would love to put on my list and cross it out. Because hopefully I get these 3 things done. But if I don't, I want to be like, but I did do these things that weren't on my list, then I put them on my list and it helps. The other idea is I don't want to clutter my to-do list with long-term planning. Does that make sense? Like cleaning the living room. Like one of them is I need to get my desk cleared. I'm not going to put that on my list today. So at the bottom, I put on my goals. Like my what I really want to achieve. I really need to get my desk cleaned off. My desk resembles my husband's. I'm going to complain I don't have enough space. But the truth is I've put off doing a couple things. And maybe I'll do them today and maybe I won't. But I know cleaning my desk actually includes hanging my baskets. I have like, where they at? I don't know where I put them. Now I've lost them. See, I lost them. But I have the file hangers that go on the wall. So before I can, like, what would be the first step I'd need to do is hang my file baskets. It's not pretty, but look, I'm just going to put that down there. I might do that today and I'll write it down and I'll cross it out. But I might not. I can think about, like, what are things? I need the filing basket. I actually need hanging baskets because I'm going to show you and you're going to be like, that's ridiculous. This is my filing cabinet. You notice there's no hanging files. Like I have some here. Well, some of my problem is I don't have enough hanging files and I need to get hanging files. So I'm going to write that like, hey, I need to get hanging files. Hanging folders. I'm going to call them folders. So what I'm doing on the bottom is I'm kind of giving myself things to think about that says, oh, when tomorrow I make my list, I start a new page. That's the rule. You have to start a new page, and I can look at what I still need to do and what I really want to come up. Because sometimes it's hard. Like, sometimes it's hard on the aspect of there's too much to do, and how do I narrow this down to 3? Well, you pick your top 3 and you move your rest to long-term planning. Like, that could be tomorrow, that could be next week, it doesn't matter. Or sometimes it's, I don't even know what to write to do today. I don't even know. I just don't know. Good morning, Darcy. And you just live in that place of, I don't know what I need to do. So that's why that helps. And then any little thing, like, hey, I took out the garbage. I'm just going to tell you, this is probably not my one for doing this. Took garbage out. I did my Walmart order. That's awesome. So I write this stuff down and I cross it out. The thing is I don't write a number to it. I don't write a number. You still have your top 3. I don't write a number. So then I do this, and then tomorrow I might look on my calendar. So we'll pretend that this is tomorrow. I'm going to write November 8th. Number 1 on my list, I don't even have to look because I know I'm going to check my calendar. I'm going to write go vote. Number 1 on my list, go vote. I like that's what I know. And then I'm going to leave myself space for 2 and 3. And I'm going to say, okay, what did I not get done yesterday? Let me look at my long-term planning. Hey, I'm going to hang up my files. Hang file baskets. That's going to be on my to-do list tomorrow. But, I mean, I do this at the end of the day or the first thing in the morning. You know, I just do this. So this is just the simple concept of write your top 3. Give yourself room to write the other things you just happen to get done. And my mom's like, but what happens if I want to clean the whole living room at one time? I said, you can. You're allowed to do that. You're absolutely allowed to do that. But don't write that down, because if you don't get it completely done, you won't feel as though you finished your work. What you write down is, I'm gonna write in increments. Take all the trash out of the living room. Did that happen? Cross it off. Now, if you happen to reorganize this one shelf, then write reorganize a shelf. Cross it out because you did it. I vacuumed that living room. Write it down. Some of you are going, oh my goodness, Trish, you really have to make a list to vacuum your living room or mop your floor. That's what I do every day. You probably aren't here looking to figure out how to do this. This is hacking ADHD. This is hacking the freeze mode, because I've lived too long in the freeze mode where you get nothing done. So like I said, this is from the Dollar Tree. I think they come in 3 packs. It's just a little note. I've done so much with these little notebooks. I have done Weight Watcher, food diaries in them. I love these little notebooks. Love, love, love. Another really cool one that I really like, and I've showed this before. This is the Drums little calendar. They had them for $2.50 because, you know, this is for April and I'm calling it November. I just rewrote the numbers in. But you could go and, like, look, it's got the perfect place for 1 to 3. It might not be enough room. You might find it hard. But, like, this is a cool one to do. You can put it in a calendar. Your calendar, you can have, especially if you're like me and you want a reason to have a lot of calendars and planners, you can literally just make this your top 3 calendar. But remember, you don't even have to do it. The nice part about not doing it on a calendar is if you fall off the wagon for 2 days, you're not beating yourself up for blank space. I do that. So this is just the next time. The next time. Like, it's a blank canvas. You are not being judged for it. You just pick up where you left off. If you can commit, if you love it, there's also one like the Hobonichi. This is an old one. I'm not going to lie. I fell off. And then I've been using it as random paper. But today I decided I just pick up, because it doesn't matter. I can't read Japanese. This is my day. I'm going to put it in here this time. I have a section of my planner labeled household. It is where I write my daily to-do list. Most weeks look the same plus 1 extra item. And that works. And it works. You're hacking your life. I'm not putting my life, I'm giving you my life hacks so you can I'm giving you my life hacks so you can figure out how to hack your life. Because we aren't living on the same thing. We're close, sometimes very similar. Here's another cool one. I've showed you this one. This is from the Dollar General. I like this one. I actually want my mom to use this one for her life hack. Hey, North Alaska, how are you? I want my mom to do this one. This is similar, so similar to yours, which is cool, is what I thought was cool. So I like this one from Dollar General, $5. Dollar General. I think this one's phenomenal. This one definitely hits the life hack. I can't show you ones I've already done. But it gives you kind of a weekly, this one works out really good because it gives you like a weekly focus, a to-do, monthly task. And what's nice is, again, if you fall off the wagon, you can just pick up where you left off. It gives you open for each day of the week. So this would give you a spot to put like, hey, I have to be here, but then here's my top 3. Here's my top 3, you know, what I did. You can turn these into little task lists, and you can kind of give yourself a weekly, and you can give yourself notes of like your long-term planning. So I think this one's phenomenal. I think this would work out for my mom really well. It's cute. I mean, in fact, I've turned these all into homeschool planners for my kids. Just on like, this is what you have to get done for your work this week in your FLVS. This is what is due for your college. It's really good. This year I got the simple plan. It is great too. I like the simple plan. It's very big though. I like this that it's small. You could do one of these a month. I don't know how many pages are in these at a time, but you can do one of these for the month and then feel like you have a fresh start. I mean, you could do like, if you did something small, you can spend time in the back doing the big plans. But the reality is you want to give yourself doable top 3s, especially if you're living in a funk. And I've lived many days in funks, which is why I don't always YouTube like I want to. But this is a way to get it together. So if this has found it very helpful for you, if this is something you're going to try, leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Are you doing something similar? What have you found a trick? Are you going to do this? I'm committing myself to doing this. I've done it in the past. It helps. But then the idea of fighting those big projects. I put the big projects down here. These are big goals. And then it helps me think of what I need to do. Sometimes you need to brainstorm those big projects. Like, let's take cleaning my desk, for instance. I might do, okay, in order to clean my desk, to make my desk, not just clean it, but make it functional. Because that's one of the problems I run into is like, I can clean it up, but it's going to go back into a mess. So can I do anything to stop the habitual cycle? Sometimes it just needs to be cleaned. Sometimes it's just not in the right setup to be functional. So like, one is I'm going to hang my basket. I'm going to hang file baskets, right? I need to get, 2 is I need to get file folders. So I need to get file folders to go. I have a dry erase calendar that needs to go up. So I need to hang my calendar. What are some more ideas? You get the gist, right? I might have stuff I need to do, or I might just need to get the garbage out. So I am going to write those things down here. So on my long-term desk, as I go, I just kind of go, oh yeah, I have a list for that. What am I going to tackle? Am I going to tackle any of these today? Then what'll be nice is I can come here and cross them off. ADHD people love lists. I'm a big list maker. I love to cross tasks that are done. If I don't get it done today, it just carries over to the next day and try again. Right. And what's nice about the idea that it's together in one notebook is you can go back and take a look at your progress. You know, or you're going to go, why haven't I gotten it done? I'm like, oh, I haven't allotted any task to it. And the big part is making a long list right here, making your long list. So your projects, creating lists, they don't have to go in order. You just might be as you think of them. And you're making those lists. So like my garden, in order to clean my garden, the first thing I really need to do is weed eat. And there's, I could break it up into little tasks. And thinking things out in little tasks makes them a little bit easier. Although you might very well, like Dana K. White says, get on something and then spend hours and hours and hours on it. You are allowed to do that. Just break it up in little tasks so you can cross them out. Because we all want to cross them out. You can do that. But sometimes we just have to give ourselves a bite-sized nugget of accomplishment to get the wheels turning, to take over the whole process. And that's the goal. Getting ourselves to achieve things and not putting huge monumental tasks. Like my last week on Tuesday, one of my number one to-dos was join Weight Watchers. And you know what I did? That was easy enough. I joined Weight Watchers. Let me get to that week. One of my one day was like to go get a new tag for the camper. I seen it. I was like, oh, I can do that. I almost went and did it at that moment. I was like, wait a minute, I have to go do this, so I will do it then. And I can say, okay, I got that done. There you go. I can give you this one. Don't judge. Sometimes I write it somewhere else. But there's my 3, and I did them all. And so it helps me plan what I'm going to do. I kind of use it in the reverse mode. I have my kids record what they need to do, but they need to get 3 done every day, at least 3. Like, what have you accomplished? So anyways, I hope this helps. If any of you were still like looking for where I was over the weekend, time got away from me, and my kids aren't small anymore. They don't actually enjoy me YouTubing with them around. So i.e., he left, I can YouTube here. But Friday was back-to-back something to do, and then I had to drive them to a 3-hour trip to get somewhere to stay the night to do a contest. And they did a contest for that. And at the contest, I could have probably snuck away and did a video. Not gonna lie, when you get around things and you do things long enough and you have friends that you only get to see at these contests, I love you all, but I chose to take the opportunity to spend it with the people that were there, that I don't get to see. So I spent it with them and enjoyed my day, and then I drove 3 hours that day. So I was in the car the whole time, and like I said, they do not want me making videos with them anymore. It's just how it is. They've grown up. So then from there, then Sunday was just crazy playing catch up. So here it is Monday, and I'm here with you. So tomorrow, go vote. It's the last day you get to vote, and make your top 3. If you take any Pinterest, or if you Instagram them or post them on Instagram, I will post mine kind of on Instagram. Some of them are, you don't want to share. You don't want to share. But like getting the task done, let's cross out that list. And at the end of the day, being able to flip through your list for the week goes, oh, that's great. That was amazing. I had a great day yesterday, or I need to get some stuff done. Or where you feel like you haven't gotten enough done, you can flip through the week and go, but I got a lot done for the week. And sometimes, especially if you're like me with my ADHD, I forget. I just blatantly forget. I'm like, did I get anything done today? I don't even know what I got done. It was just a blur. And being able to kind of go back and say, oh, so it acts as that journal part of like, oh, I am getting things done. Or it acts as an inspiration to keep moving. So I hope this helps you in your day-to-day, especially if you've been home so long that you feel like you've just lost touch with just feeling productive, because I've been there. I've absolutely been there. And you kind of get in a funk that's really hard to break. I get it. And this is what I'm doing to stop my funks. To just stop my funks from coming. I'm trying to be proactive, because in a matter of time, it will come. I will get into a funk and I will not be interested. I know that, so I am trying to begin the process to prevent that. And I hope if you have that tendency too, that this will help you prevent that. And if you're in your funk, this will help you get out, and you will feel successful, because when you feel successful, you are motivated to take on more. So I love you all very much. Until maybe tomorrow, I will see you then.